Socialist Party opposes freezing vetting process for the Electoral College judges while agreeing to other DP proposals. Whilst protesters have entered the fourth day of the hunger strike, awaiting a massive protest on Sunday if requests for back payments aren't met. The Albanian government proposes a new plan to stop brain drain of medical staff in the country. It's 6 o'clock on Thursday, the 20th of February, 2020. Good evening and thank you for tuning in to the English edition of Ora News. My name is Christopher, bringing you the only update of the local Albanian news translated into English. Following the meeting on electoral reform, SP MP Damian Gjiknuri made a statement to the media. Gjiknuri said that the DP proposals cannot call into question judicial reform. He added that if he wants the DP to return to the institutions, they do not have to play the president's game. We discussed this with the college. To be fair, we found some proposals that require revision because we cannot call into question judicial reform. We are ready to find a solution, but without jeopardizing reform. We discussed a range of issues and we're progressing. We cannot put into question some of the concerns that the DP has regarding the principal objects of the constitutional organization. We will accept the preservation of the role of the police and the maintenance of order at the polling station. DP is there to approve the electoral code in cooperation with us and the parliament that will approve it. If we want it, they really will have to decide to return to the institutions. Why should the DP not be involved in the game of the president? Damian Gjiknuri said. Gjiknuri added that it is not normal that vetting cannot be blocked due to the formation of the Electoral College. It is not normal for vetting to be blocked due to the formation of the Electoral College. I think judges who have passed the vetting should be part of the selection of the electoral panel. If they have passed the vetting process, why not those baskets from which the college can be selected? These are issues we are discussing. We do not want the DP proposals to question or override what has been achieved by judicial reform. The implementation of the Constitution due to electoral law does not stop. Vetting cannot be suspended because of a provision in the Electoral Code. Lefter Melici, one of the new opposition MPs, joined the president's initiative to hold a rally on March 2nd. According to him, the initiative is to protect the Constitution and to stop the mass emigration of the youth. New elections, Melici said, are the best way out of the crisis. MP Lefter Melici has come out in support of President Ilir Meta's call for the March 2nd gathering at the Boulevard Martyrs of the Nation to sign the first decree against a coup. According to him, on March 2nd, stable protests should start until this government is overthrown. I will also support the call of President Ilir Meta. I call on all honest socialists, all Democrats, media, actors, artists, and students to be present on March 2nd, but with the stipulation that March 2nd onwards, it will not be like those lighthearted protests, but be sustained protests until this dictator is ousted. I am in favor of the president for just one fact, because he was a student of December 1990, despite having served the SP for years. He was a student of December for the overthrow of the dictatorship and the defense of democracy. To resolve this crisis, Melici also called for the intervention of internationals. My call is straightforward. On March 2nd and afterwards, all the socialists, my friends, supporters in Berat, but everywhere there are for the fate of the country. Best of all, the internationals intervene so that a political solution can be made as soon as possible with no physical confrontation, and the country goes to free and fair early elections. There was also a direct call to the state police. Lefter Melici says that you may respond in the same way that as the police did in 1991 when the bust of the dictator fell, and to distance yourself from political orders. I also call on the police from the north who used tear gas to be careful and do not join the political appeal. As for the current parliament, Melici says most of the new MPs are in the assembly for their personal interests. This parliament should be dissolved as soon as possible. If I am elected or not, it is known by the vote of the people. People with integrity, journalists, doctors, economists must come forward. Melici stressed that the president is seeking the protection of the Constitution and taking measures to halt the mass emigration of young people. Balch protesters have entered the fourth day of the hunger strike. They have said today that they are seeking a resolution to the situation and they have not been visited by anyone other than doctors, accounts Ora News reporter Inel Davalia. They have also said that on Sunday they will hold a large gathering, while on Monday they will go into the plant and stay there. On the fourth day of the strike, we will continue to ask for nothing in excess until the situation is resolved. There is no one else there except for the group of the doctors that had come to check on us. If the Prime Minister does care so much for us, so why does he not ask what is going on with us to help us with our salaries or find other work? We ask the state to turn its eyes to the Balsh and to get employees and people to pay for the lights and water. We do not need medical help. They would rather die than stay that way. We request that the MPs and the Prime Minister to come to see how far we are faring. There was no reaction except for the media and the Ombudsman representative. We do not give up without getting our salaries. We will meet in political meetings as we are not in the campaign, commented one protester on a hunger strike. We want back wages. We will expect a very big rally on Sunday where we will all come together. On Monday, we will go into the plant to isolate ourselves. We have hope in the Balsh plant. The state is threatening us with this imbalance. We're going to lock ourselves in the workplace. The resumption of this issue is action, not idle talk. So far, they have been fictitious statements. The materials have been in the plant, but nothing was invested. We want wages and real investment to go to get the equipment up and running. Meanwhile, yesterday, they just decided to cut off the water and refuse medical help. Doctors on standby pleaded them to stop the strike, but the requests were refused. Yesterday, a serious health condition forced one of the oil men to stop the strike while being replaced by another colleague. The 10 men say they are ready to die for their bread for their children. For 5 months in protest and a week on strike, employees of the Balsh plant have called for government intervention to resolve the wage and resume work, but no one has been hired. The oil refinery closed after the company managing it says Bankers Petroleum does not supply any more crude oil. Minister Olgerta Manastirliu has announced salary increases and a support system for doctors, including a new package for white-collar workers that want to return to Albania to look for work. The migration of doctors and nurses has become a worrying phenomenon. To this end, the Minister of Health has announced that another package of changes is being prepared to enable their return. Minister Olgerta Manastirliu says support will be given to them in housing, fiscal convenience, and stimulating contracts. At the same time, there will be an ambitious package practicing in our country. Noting that there are more than 113 foreign doctors working in Albania in the last 2 years, Manastirliu said it is time to strengthen cooperation among Albanian doctors in the world. Departure of doctors from Albania is not an Albanian phenomenon. In the last 2 years, there are 113 foreign doctors practicing in Albania. Minister for Diaspora Pandeli Majko has outlined the numbers of doctors and nurses who have emigrated. During the last 2 years, 400 doctors and 2,200 nurses have been employed in the public system. Finally, yesterday, Kuwait celebrated its 59th anniversary as a free and independent state. The country's personalities in the Far East came together for the evening of February 19th for the festive ceremony of their most important national holiday. President of the Republic, Ilir Meta, PD Chairman Luzim Basha, MPs, representatives of the diplomatic corps accredited in our country, media representatives and businessmen wish Kuwait good wishes for their most important day. The ambassador in his speech emphasized the excellent relations between Kuwait and Albania and the Kuwaitis' investments in Albania. The humanitarian aid of Kuwait, present in many cities of Albania, has been continuous since 1992 until the present day. It has increased in various sectors such as health and education, with the implementation of projects worth over 111 million euros. We placed a prominent sign in this sector expressing through it the official position of the state of Kuwait, said the Kuwaiti ambassador. The birthday cake of the Kuwaiti state was symbolically cut by the Kuwaiti ambassador and the president of the Republic, Ilir Meta. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening. And be sure to join us again every Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Ora News, thank you and good night.